Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast for a thriving business and life. And we are live Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today, we are going to be diving into episode 3, clearing the hidden blocks that keep you stuck. And so we're going to be exploring those subconscious patterns that can keep you stuck. Even when you're aware of them, you'll learn why awareness alone isn't enough, how emotional memory impacts your behavior, and how deeper clearing work can help you finally move forward with ease, confidence, and alignment. And so to start the show, I want to backtrack a little bit from last week's show. So we had a couple of questions came in, and we're going to go deeper into those questions, but I really want to acknowledge the questions. So Anastasia asked, where does doubt fit in? And we're going to address that more deeply. So stay tuned, all of you, and Anastasia. We're going to be talking about it more deeply today. And then Misty asked, what, you haven't done breathing in a while with us, because I used to do the breathing exercises, and I'm going to be doing that with you very shortly. So let's talk. First of all, have you ever had the experience where you know what to do, but you're not doing it? You've gained the awareness, you've had the insights, and yet you still feel stuck. So today we're going to be talking about why that happens and what's really going on beneath the surface. So I said that we would start with the guided reflection. So let's do some breathing and go into this. Now, remember, last week we talked about your soul vision. And so I'm going to ask a couple of questions about that. But before we do, now this guided reflection experiential moment, I said I would start with it, so I am, is for all of you who are in a place that's safe, where you're not driving or operating big machinery or anything like that. You're in a place that's comfortable enough and safe, and you're able to close your eyes and take a breath. Now, for those of you who are not in that space, you know that you can always come back to the YouTube or the podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, and Apple, Amazon, and many more. So, okay. So everybody, I want you to take a deep breath in and feel yourself breathing in light. Imagine yourself breathing in light. Imagine that light. and taking the breath. And take another deep breath, imagining light. Perhaps it's golden light. Maybe some of you would like it to be white light, or maybe there's a color coming to you. Allow however it wants to come to you. And one more time, take another deep breath in, breathing in the light. And now, feel yourself breathing and tuning into your heart. Breathing into your heart. And when you connect with your heart, you're connecting with your soul. And I am going to ask you, what am I truly here to create? And allow yourself to breathe in and trusting any thoughts or feelings or images. And just allowing whatever wants to come. And also know that you can come back to this at a later time as well. For those of you who are not available to do it now, or those of you who want to redo it. What am I truly here to create from that soul level? What does your soul want you to create? And the next question is, what part of my vision have I been ignoring or doubting? And you want to breathe into that, tune in, and notice what comes up for you. And it's not from the thinking, but from the feeling place. And so take a breath and coming back right here, right now. And even if you didn't get answers now, know that you can get those answers at a later time. That your soul is speaking to you all the time. And we're going to be going deeper in today's episode, talking about those hidden blocks. We're going to go deeper in why you may not be able to get them, or what happens when you ignore or doubt your soul vision. And so we'll go deeper into that. And what happens when you reconnect, you end up trusting yourself more. You become clearer. You're ending up making those decisions faster because you're in that alignment and you feel more confident. For your business, you have a clearer message. You have more aligned offers and you have stronger client attraction. In your life, you may get clarity on how to get healthier. What action steps you need around money or finances, and how to create more harmony in your relationships. And so know that all of that is possible. And in order to do that, you very well likely will need to clear those hidden blocks that may be keeping you stuck. And so we got some comments from live listeners. Mickey says, I needed that. Yay. So glad. Misty says, thank you. That felt good. Yay. And Anastasia says, that was a good feeling. And that's what's possible when you reconnect with yourself. But what may block you from that reconnection is those subconscious blocks. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, let's do my Psych 101 lesson so that we're all on the same page here, okay? So first of all, you have your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is If you are listening live or at a later time, you consciously made the decision, oh, let me listen or view this now. Congratulations, conscious mind of yours. And your conscious mind, is what empowers you to make very clear conscious decisions. Your subconscious mind, from the moment you were conceived to present time, has recorded every moment that you have been alive, which not only includes the good stuff, but also can include the trauma, the limiting beliefs, and the emotions where you can get stuck. And so it's learning to be able to clear those limiting beliefs and emotions so that you can clear those deeper patterns. And also know that that also can be not only from this lifetime. To make things more complicated, it could be other lifetimes, and it could be ancestors. But I want you to know, no matter where it's coming from, okay, this is the most important thing that you remember. No matter where it's coming from, you can clear it. You can clear it. And we're going to be jumping in right now to talk about it. Okay. So let's talk about how you can be frustrated, and because you're aware, but you still feel stuck. So, for example, maybe you're thinking to yourself, I know I need to show up more, but I'm not. I know I should raise my prices. Now, these are all business, but I haven't. I know what my next step is, but I keep delaying it. And in your life, I know I need to go on that eating plan to get healthier. I know I need to lose weight. I know I need to make more money, but I don't know what to do. So, what will happen is those things, whether they're in your business or in your life, they will lead to frustration, self-judgment, and feeling like something is wrong with you. And I see that all the time with my clients. And what I really want you to know is that this is not about you being bad or being wrong or not having it right. It's really about a subconscious pattern that needs to be cleared. Okay, so that's what I want to remind you. Now, why awareness isn't enough alone? Why awareness alone isn't enough? Because, first of all, I'm always talking about how awareness is your first step. You need awareness in order to take the next steps. But what happens is you need to go deeper than the awareness. Awareness is really about the first step, and then you go deeper. So you can't think your way out of patterns, because those subconscious patterns are created below the level of thinking. They live in your subconscious mind, like we talked about. And what happens is not only do those patterns live in your subconscious mind, but they live in your body. So when I'm doing body-centered work with my clients and I'm helping them connect with what they're feeling in their heart or their gut, how many of you ever had the feeling where, oh, you have the knots, there's something you need to do, and you have all this fear coming up, and you can feel all those knots in your stomach? That's your body talking to you that there's something going on, And your body is actually an amazing way to help you know more about what you need to in your subconscious mind, because your body is a physical representation of what's going on in your subconscious mind. And then another way is it could be not only through your body, but also it could be in your energy field. So there are different levels, and so it may be in your energy field as well. And some of you may know what a chakra is. A chakra is part of your energy field, and there's 7 major energy centers running up and down your spine. And you can have subconscious blocks, and those live in your chakras. And even, like, I'll give you an example. Even very often when I'm working with a client, and all of a sudden they'll start feeling like their throat, they're feeling a lump in their throat, or maybe they're starting to feel tears coming in their eyes, or like I said, the stomach, or all of those are ways that your body and your chakras are communicating with you. And so this is why it's so important to be able to have the awareness. And then once you have the awareness, then you can take it deeper. So now let's talk about core patterns that may be common hidden blocks. So an example of those core patterns that may block you from moving forward, from creating your soul vision, from creating the life you want, from creating the business you want. It could be self-sabotage. Maybe it's procrastination, or maybe it's perfectionism. How many of you have that perfect? I don't want to put that video up until it's perfect, or I can't do that until it's perfect, or and in your life, I have to do this and make sure it's perfect before I share it with anybody. So whether business or life, perfection can get in your way. And then you may have the sabotaging pattern where you start something and then you stop, and you start something and then you stop. That is a sabotage pattern. Self-sabotage pattern. Now, other patterns that keep you stuck may be those fears of visibility. So maybe, and this could be in your business, this is about you getting seen more, being online, doing the social media. Maybe it's about speaking or showing up more. In your life, it depends on how much you fear being judged. So I have a lot of clients that have social anxiety, and they don't even want to go out to a party, or because they just want to hide. So if you are hiding in any way, you need to look below and ask yourself, is this a fear of visibility? And it shows up a fear of being judged, a fear of being seen, or even a fear of success. So all of those are ways that those show up. And then the next pattern is undercharging. So as a business person, this is business oriented, if you are not valuing yourself and then you're undercharging clients or potential clients, you give a price, or you have that fear of rejection, or you just want to be liked. Now, wanting to be liked goes across the board. People pleasing, whether it's your life or your business. If you're in people pleasing mode, that is a self-sabotaging pattern, because you want to be liked, you want to be loved. And then there may be, and this is both business and life, you're an overgiver. If you're an overgiver, and you need to look on in your life or in your business, you take on too much responsibility. Maybe you're the person in your family, I'll do it, I'll take it on. And then you start getting angry and resentful. In your business, you're doing it all alone. And you actually may start resenting or getting angry that you're doing this alone in your business. Or if this is happening anywhere in your life or business, you give and you give and you give without receiving. That is a sabotage pattern and a hidden block. And then there's burnout. What happens is when you are taking on too much responsibility and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not receiving, and you're not even receiving or giving to yourself, that's part of what's going on. It will create burnout. And so it may be burnout at work, it may be burnout in your business, or it may be burnout in your life, in your family, with your friends. Feeling so depleted. If you're feeling angry, frustrated, feeling depleted, you're either on the way to burnout or you're burnt out. And what's going to be most important is for you to take some type of action to heal from it. And so what I really want to ask you is, which of these do you recognize in yourself? So think about it. Which of these, as I was going through them, do you recognize in yourself? Okay, we have a question from Misty. So if we keep giving to others without any reciprocation, that is bad on ourselves? Okay. So if you're in a pattern where you're giving and giving to others, okay, now, of course, okay, I want to make this really clear. If you're talking about your kids, that's one thing, okay? That's your responsibility as a parent. I'm not talking about that. But even as your kids get older, when they start getting older, they should be giving back, like assigning chores or tasks to them, because that's important for them. Or if they're teenagers, they definitely need to be giving back in some way. But if you have any friends, spouse, partners, family members where you're giving and giving and giving and giving, or coworkers, or people in your field, like colleagues, if you're in business, and you're the one that's doing the giving, 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 and you're never having any reciprocation, something is wrong. That is a red flag. It's something for you to look at. And the way that you can start noticing it more is by what you're feeling. If you're starting to feel angry and resentful or frustrated, it's a sign that something's off. Now, I really want you to know that if you're a giver and you love giving and it excites you and it feels good, and again, this is the feelings. You'll know by your feelings. If you're feeling like you're able to fill yourself up, do that self-care, take care of yourself, and you want to keep giving, and it feels like that's what feels like the right thing, then that's one thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you start feeling, again, the anger, the frustration, maybe it's overwhelm, or you start feeling that resentment. If you start feeling those feelings, that's when you need to pay attention to yourself. Okay, so thank you for that question. That's good. Mickey asks, how is this our fault? How is this our fault if we are treating others like we want to be treated? Ken, so Mickey, this is, and here's the thing. You do want to treat others the way you want to be treated. I am not talking about that. And again, if that feels good and it feels loving and it feels joyful, again, this is about the feelings. If it feels like, yes, I love doing this turns me on. This is what I want to be doing, then you're on the right track. It's when those feelings, and I'm going to say it again, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it's really an important point to drive home, is that anger, frustration, resentment, overwhelm, maybe it's fear, but usually it doesn't come out like that. It usually comes out with this anger, frustration, resentment, or even overwhelm. If there are other feelings, you can let me know, but those are the ones that are coming to me right now. And here's the thing, and this is also really important. If you feel guilty that you're not doing something, or that you should, if you start shoulding on yourself, that is also really important to pay attention to. That's another feeling that's telling you something's off. Now, here's the thing. There's two kinds of guilt. There's the positive guilt, where if you make a mistake and you feel like you need to say you're sorry or make amends, that's a good thing. You want to say you're sorry, make amends, and let it go. Let that guilt go. But if you're feeling guilty when there's no reason to feel guilty, like, oh, I should be doing this for all these people or this person or whatever, there's a message there for you. So, and again, first start being aware. Awareness is the first step. So, and I also want to share with you that I have this stop self-sabotage checklist. And so what this is this is a checklist. So for your life and your business. And it's how you can go from stuck to thriving. So if you find that you're getting in your way, and you'll discover the most self-sabotaging patterns, mindsets, habits, and how to spot those subtle patterns, even that can keep you silently stuck. And then, excuse me, gentle but practical steps to shift from self-sabotage to support. And so, Rebel, can you put in the chat for those of you who are on the podcast listening, the link to get the Stop Your Self-Sabotage Now checklist is you go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com, the name of the show, inspiredandempoweredliving.com. Then you want to go to /checklist 2. Remember, you have to put the number 2 in. So inspiredandempoweredliving.com /checklist 2. And Rebel, can you put that in the chat as well? And let's continue on. Okay, so you're becoming aware. You're becoming aware of these patterns. And what I want to make you aware of is that there's a real difference. Okay, first I need to take some water before I go into the next segment. There's a real difference. Your logical mind, you may beat yourself up if you have that inner critic, make yourself wrong. Those are self-sabotaging patterns you want to stop. Or your logical mind says, just do it. Just do it. Just raise your prices. Just show up consistently. Just get it done. But what happens is below the surface, the emotional part of you is saying, and this is in your life and your business, the emotional part says, perhaps, okay, there's some things. Maybe it's not safe. And so you stop yourself from doing it. Whether it's in your business or in your life, it doesn't feel safe. Or maybe you're afraid, what if I fail? What if I fail? That fear of failure is underneath it. Or maybe you're afraid to do something in your business or your life. What if I'm judged? I can't say that because they'll judge me. So that is the emotional memory. That's where it lives. That emotional memory lives in the subconscious mind. And every time, emotional memory, subconscious patterns win. And what's going to happen is, and this is the truth, is your behavior will always follow what feels safe, not what makes sense. And again, I really, really, really want to support you in not beating yourself up. I can't even begin to tell you how many of my clients have come to me. And let's take Julie. Julie came to me and she really wanted to lose weight. And she really wanted to lose weight so that she could look good for her business, so that she could show up for those videos, so that she could do the speaking. And what happened was, as we started working together, Julie would say to me, she would go, why can't I just lose weight? What's wrong with me? I'm so upset that I just can't lose weight. I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. And she'd beat herself up and she'd be really upset with herself. And I would keep reminding her, Julie, this is not in your conscious mind. This is a subconscious pattern, that there's something going on underneath that's keeping you from losing the weight. And so it's learning to discover what's going on beneath the surface. And so that's where you need to go. And so the deeper work is needed. So whether you are wanting to do it through counseling, therapy, coaching, it's really working on clearing the subconscious mind and doing the energetic clearing so that you can become who you're meant to be. Now, usually, like when I work with Julie, We did hypnosis. We did something called NLP, neuro linguistics programming, because I do that in my sessions. And then we continue to do the intuitive energy clearing. And so Julie had to work through many levels in order to get the clearing she needed. She had to work through the patterns from this lifetime, from her ancestors, from past lives. And because what was happening is not losing weight was her excuse for not showing up. And once she started losing weight and felt more confident and understood what was going on beneath the surface, and then started clearing the patterns, her self image, she became more confident. And she is now really happy and proud to be showing up in her life and in her business. And that's the power of what happens when you stop those repeating patterns and you move forward with ease. It's moving forward, because what happens is when you have those patterns, those subconscious patterns, things feel like a struggle, things feel hard, things feel stuck. But as you clear those patterns, those repeating patterns, or those patterns that are keeping you stuck, you start moving forward with so much more ease. And so, what I want to support you in asking yourself is, where are you holding yourself back? Again, coming back from what we were talking from your soul vision. But now I'd like you to take a moment and look at your life or your business and ask yourself, where am I holding myself back? And what pattern keeps repeating? And now, everybody, take a breath. What might I be protecting myself from? What might I be protecting myself from? And so, what happens is when you start clearing the blocks, it's easier to take action. It feels natural. It's like it just flows. Like with Julie, she's just in flow, and she's trusting her intuition. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do step by step in her business and in her life. And she like I said, feeling more confident when you clear the blocks or you stop overthinking. If any of you are in think, you're in overthinking. And it's coming out of the overthinking, because that is a self-sabotage. And what happens is you follow through. When you clear the energy blocks, you follow through consistently. And what happens is, in your life, relationships get better. Your life flows more easily. In your business, you're able to become more visible. You have what I call soul aligned clients, and you increase your income. And so when you clear the blocks, you don't have to push. Things begin to move, things begin to flow. And that's what it's about. And so I really want, if you're listening and recognizing yourself, I want to give you something to help you go deeper. And so I created that checklist. Stop your self-sabotage patterns now. And you can go to the link. Mickey says that makes sense. You can go to the link, inspiredandempoweredliving.com, the name of the show, /checklist 2. Again, inspiredandempoweredliving.com, name of the show, /checklist 2. And so download that checklist to really help you see those patterns, understand them more deeply, and then find out those gentle ways to start shifting them. And that could be your next step. And now, so episode number 4, solo for our soul-led success series. What we're going to be talking about more is getting more soul-aligned clarity. And so it's really about being able to get that clarity. When you clear the blocks, you are able to get clarity. Clarity in your business, clarity in your life. And so once you clear those blocks, what you can is, what can you actually create with that clarity? And so we're going to go deeper into how to create that soul-aligned clarity. And what I really want to remind you is that you don't need more discipline. You need deeper alignment and clearing. And I look forward for you to join me in the next episode, Soul-Aligned Clarity. And remember, we're live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel. And then you can always hear the podcasts as well on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And I look forward to connecting with you more next week. I'm wishing you all an inspired and empowered day, night, and week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.